What if ChatGPT could access recent and even live data, personal, private, and local data, create posts, tweets, send messages and emails, or in short, act on your behalf on the internet? Enter OpenPlugin, a platform that enables all the aforementioned features with the mission to create a more capable artificial intelligence.
Thank you, AI-generated voice. Now onto my unintelligible voice. If you've arrived here, odds are the novelty of ChatGPT has worn off and you expect more beyond its existing knowledge base. OpenPlugin offers a vertical suite of tools from a website that anyone can use down to its incumbent packages that make it all work. In the same vein, this video is structured in a way so that you can drop off at any point depending on how deep you want to go into OpenPlugin. First, I'll go over the website openplugin.io, how to use it, its features and considerations. Then I'll cover the plugin migrations, how the plugins are sourced, and what the status of the plugins indicate. And finally, the open source OpenPlugin packages, the core of OpenPlugin. I'll do a high-level overview on how to use them. To get access to openplugin.io, you first visit the page openplugin.io, you enter your email, that will then send an email with a code, you enter the code back in the same place, and finally you have access to OpenPlugin. We're going to opt into the onboarding, and while we follow that process, I'll give you more details. OpenPlugin offers more than 170 plugins and it's growing every day. A popular branch of plugins are plugins that can navigate to a website and gather their contents. I'll be using one called Browser OP. You can see on the right-hand plugins panel that there's already recommended plugins. We're going to select Browser OP amongst those recommended plugins, and we're going to ask what this page, openplugin.io, is about. Without the plugin, ChatGPT would hallucinate and make assumptions over what openplugin.io is. But with the plugin, it can actually retrieve the data from the website and give me information about what it really is. Then we're going to create a QR code for openplugin.io using the QR codes plugin. If you don't know the name of the plugin, that's fine. You can search for it. We're going to search for Create QR, enable it, then ask it to generate a QR code for the link we mentioned previously and show it to us as an image. That completes the onboarding process. So now that we're liberated from the confines of the onboarding bot, a word of caution. The plugins are third-party, so I cannot make any promises on their behalf as to how they use the message data being passed to them. If it is a concern, you can find out more about the plugins by clicking on the information button on the corresponding plugin in the right plugins panel, or you can click on the See More button on the plugin card in the marketplace. Returning to the OpenPlugin feature set, imagine that you're trying to create a LinkedIn post that you want to go viral, so you need to know the best hashtags for it. First, we'll create a new chat and we're just gonna get straight into messaging. Notice how the QR code is still activated. So we're gonna ask, show me the best hashtags for tech on LinkedIn. Notice how there's a plugin being recommended. We're going to tab that in and submit the message. Its response is informative, but I just want to copy and paste the hashtags. So I'm going to ask for it to organize it as a space-separated list of hashtags. Note that not all plugins will work perfectly at the first try. Sometimes the culprit is OpenPlugin, other times it could be the plugin itself, and sometimes you might need to reformat your message to better align with the plugin's purpose. To help moderate expectations, we do add a detail on some plugins that have not been verified to work. You will find that on the top right of the plugins card. I'll explain that in further detail on the next part of the video. But before we transition to that, to finalize this part of the video, we're going to look at the left chats panel, where you can select any of the chats and continue the conversation, or you can delete them. That covers everything you need to know about the OpenPlugin website, openplugin.io. Take it away, AI.
Check out the OpenPlugin's GitHub under the Migrations directory to understand how we handle plugin curation and categorization. Today, the official ChatGPT marketplace is the sole source. But brace yourself. We'll soon be open for your submissions. Our plugins must weather rigorous checks. They're categorized into 3 dynamic tiers. Unsupported. If OpenPlugin faces feature lag or a challenging configuration, we'll temporarily bench the plugin, keeping it out of view on our website. Nonetheless, developers may still access it. Tentative. The plugin could be a fit, but OpenPlugin's generated prompts failed to stimulate it. You'll find it on our website, but with a word of caution. Supported. OpenPlugin stimulated it, responding back via their API. This plugin's ready to shine. We innovate relentlessly to pave the way for a broader, more accessible plug-and-play experience.
I'll finish it off with the OpenPlugin packages. They are the core of OpenPlugin. They are what makes the website possible. In fact, OpenPlugin's ethos in relation to the packages are if it can be on the package, it will be on the package, implying that as long as OpenPlugin exists, we will continue maintaining and developing these packages. The packages are organized as displayed on the following matrix. On the x-axis, you have the languages that the packages are supported in. On the y-axis, you have the two kinds of packages. OpenPlugin Core is what enables the interaction between ChatGPT and the plugin as you saw on the website, whereas OpenPlugin Client is a very simple client wrapper that pings an API that is running OpenPlugin Core. I added a small detail suggesting the projected support that these packages will receive from top left to bottom right. You can see the same organization reflected on the OpenPlugin mono repo, where in addition to the migrations directory, each package has their own directory. For the purposes of this video, we're only going to look into PyPyCore. To not get bogged down by the code, I'm not going to go over the code itself. Instead, I'm going to go over the Colab quickstart demo for the Python version of OpenPlugin Core. First, you install OpenPlugin Core, then you instantiate your environment variable OpenAI API key. Finally, we get to using OpenPlugin Core. The OpenPlugin completion function is the simplest way to use OpenPlugin Core, which all you have to do is pass it a message in the OpenAI chat completion format, in addition to the plugin name. To find plugin namespaces, you can either navigate to the plugins.md file inside the OpenPlugin repository, or you can navigate to the Explore Plugins button on the plugins.io website. And it'll summarize the response as you've already seen on the website. The OpenPlugin class can be thought of as a first-class citizen for the OpenPlugin Core package, as everything else is based off it. To use this class, you can either pass in the namespace of the plugin or the URL serving the API of the plugin that you want to use. Then you can instantiate a variable for the messages that you want to pass. Note that they do need to be in OpenAI chat completion schema. Then we'll execute the fetch plugin method, which calls the plugin API based on the natural language messages that we sent it. This will return an OpenAI chat completion message, so that then for the next part of the code block, we can pass it into the OpenAI API and it'll return a summarized response containing the information returned by the plugin. Then there is a wrapper class called OpenPlugin Memo, which works much the same way as the OpenPlugin class, just that it stores in memory configuration for the plugins that you've used. That way you're not constantly pinging the plugin APIs and being disrespectful when you don't really have to. This same structure is maintained by the npm OpenPlugin Core package, and again, the OpenPlugin clients are just pinging an API that uses this Python OpenPlugin Core. If you're interested and you want to learn more, feel free to click on any of the links below, and I'm very much looking forward to your feedback. Thanks for watching.